From All Elite to New Japan, Jack Perry goes from the little leagues in America to the little leagues in Japan. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And Jack Perry is back in the wrestling bubble. Yes, he's no longer with All Elite Wrestling, but he is with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he appeared in New Japan Pro Wrestling's In the Valley event in San Jose, where he attacked Shota Umino in, I believe, the main event, and then he brought an AEW contract into the ring. He ripped it up, signifying that he was no longer with the company, that he is no longer All Elite, and he also sported an armband that read Scapegoat. Now, some people are saying that this is a work. Some people are saying that he's doing this, him and Tony Khan are working together. Tony Khan, AEW, they've got a working relationship with New Japan. Therefore, this is something to take the heat off of Jack Perry. And rather than fire Jack Perry, he's moved Jack Perry into New Japan. And then sooner or later, we'll bring him back to AEW later down the line. And I'm going to call bullshit on that. I don't think Tony Khan is smart enough to do a work. And we heard that the CM Punk stuff was supposedly a work. Punk was going to come back. Didn't happen. Punk was gone. People have tried to say that the whole Jinder Mahal stuff was a work to try and get more eyes on Hook. And we know that's not the case. We know that's just Tony Khan having a meltdown. And now we're hearing that Tony Khan and Jack Perry are in a work with each other, and that Jack Perry is somehow pretending to be this anti-AEW guy. And he's not. And you just know that Tony Khan wouldn't be for this. Tony Khan wouldn't want Jack Perry in a different company ripping up an AEW contract, and he certainly wouldn't want him wearing an armband signifying that he is a scapegoat and he's somehow being made out to be the bad guy or being punished by Tony Khan. So I'm not buying this at all. I just think Jack Perry simply left AEW and he's went to New Japan. It's as simple as that for me.
Oh, yeah, I think Tony Khan's insecurities just prevents him from creating a storyline like this, because we've seen it anytime AEW gets slightly bashed or even slightly mentioned by one of the most, low-key WWE profile, like WWE on Fox, or even something less than that. He takes it bad and he starts bashing it. Why would he openly bash AEW on New Japan Pro Wrestling? I get it, there's a connection. The forbidden door, man. But he doesn't really have sway with New Japan. He can't just say to them, here, this is what we're going to do. I don't think he's done this. He's never done this. I mean, some people will probably try and compare this to when
I think his ego is too fragile for him to, even as a work, bash his own company.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
On a different program.
But see, that's where WCW had the minerals. They had the outsiders come in and portray them as WWE guys who were taking over.
I don't think Tony Khan would want that.
No, exactly.
See if people come into AEW to try and take over, he'd want to squash it in 5 minutes. Yeah. That's the storyline over.
That's it over.
You didn't take over. I'm Tony Khan. I'm not Shane. I'm Tony.
This ain't the invasion. This ain't the Monday Night Wars.
Now, I don't know if we have confirmation that Jack Perry was ever fired. We know that he was suspended. However, that suspension's been going on for quite a long time now. So was Jack Perry perhaps released? I would imagine so. Because I don't think he would come on New Japan and rip up the contract, although is there anything against that?
I don't know if there's anything against that, but is it confirmed what happened to him? You can't just fade it. But see, he's not relevant, right? The only reason he got made half relevant is because CM Punk made him bloody.
Now, let's just say for argument's sake, this is legit. Let's say he has been fired, he has been let go, he's no longer part of All Elite Wrestling. I'm actually going to defend Jungle Boy here, Jack Perry. I think he's got a point coming out, ripping up the contract and wearing the armband that says scapegoat, because he has been made the scapegoat. It's almost like Tony Khan knew that he couldn't be a hypocrite and he had to punish someone else that was involved on the opposite end of the Punk altercation, and rather than doing anything against the Young Bucks, and let's be real here, that was the big incident. The one that everybody really talks about is the one with Punk, Ace Steel, and the Bucks, and Kenny Omega, and Larry.
3-on-3 match.
Now, I'm not saying what happened with Jack Perry and Punk was great, but this seems more of like a minor scuffle backstage.
Yeah.
And a little bit of bitching on camera where he done the glass spot and he called out CM Punk. But this isn't... No, see when everyone thinks of Punk's altercation, see when everyone thinks about the big Punk moment that basically messed everything up, and they think of this moment. They think of the one with the... That's the one that essentially had to create a brand new show for Punk. And this is, I think, that's what damaged Punk's relationship. You can argue that this was maybe the final nail in the coffin. But for me, what started it was the whole thing with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, that was the snowball effect, and I think he has been hung out to dry.
And obviously you had the scrum as well, which was pretty tasty. So I think Jack Perry's got a point. I believe that if Tony, the Bucks didn't even get suspended.
Nothing. And they actually attacked a dog.
So I think Jack Perry's got a legitimate point here. I think that he has been made out to be the scapegoat. He seems to be the only one that from the opposite of the Punk camp that wasn't. He seems to be the only one that was being punished.
Yeah, and I think he's been shafted. And here, if it is a work, I will say fair play to Tony Khan.
And I don't even rate this guy, but I'd actually go as far as saying I actually prefer him over the Bucks and Omega for his theme song alone.
Yeah, but I don't think the Japanese guys are going to be singing it too good on commentary.
I'd take it Japanese commentary singing Jungle Boy to the ring. Jack Perry. Remember Jim Ross tried to put this guy over all the time, calling him Jungle Boy Jack Perry?
You can't call him that.
Everyone was pissing their pants. Why are you calling him that? Why? His name's Jungle Boy, not Jack Perry. What's he going by now?
He looks like a hunger strike victim.
What's he going by now though? He's going by Jack Perry, so there you go.
Big JP.
Jim Ross was right to try and put him over. Yeah, so he looks a bit like Jesus. I don't know if it's going to be his new character.
Maybe Jesus came to Japan. He's going to finally fill out the Tokyo Dome.
The second coming of Jesus, I mean, they couldn't fill out the seats, but I mean, Jesus did fill about 500 empty stomachs with one loaf of bread and
10 sardines.
So who knows? Maybe it can happen. That would have probably filled Bobby Sands as well. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know your thoughts down below. Is he the scapegoat? Of course, like, this could be a work. I'm not outright denying it. I just, like, when have we ever seen Tony Khan work anything? Anytime we see Tony Khan, whether it be on Twitter or whether it be on AEW programming, the guy's as serious as can be. We've never seen him. He doesn't have a character. There is no Tony Khan the character. He's just Tony Khan.
Yeah. Tony Khan's just the
You never see Tony Khan in character because he hasn't got a character. He's just got his actual self.
Persona.
His own persona. So therefore, I just think it's a bit far-fetched that all of a sudden Tony Khan is going to be doing a work and he's going to be sending Jungle Boy to disrespect AEW on a different program and wear this whole scapegoat thing, which is basically a way of calling out Tony Khan. It's basically burying Tony Khan and accusing Tony Khan of, you know, throwing me under the bus while not throwing anyone else under the bus. And by doing that, it's almost like Jungle Boy is pointing out here, well, look, why didn't you do anything about the Young Bucks? Why didn't you do anything about Omega, the Elite? Is Tony Khan wanting to bring that up and drag that through Is Tony Khan going to want other people to be aware of the fact that, wait, hold on, Jack Perry's got a point here. He has been made to be the scapegoat. Of course he's not. So for me, people saying this is a work, I'm not buying it.
I don't think it's a work. It's easy to think it's the work, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll check out New Japan.
Aye, well,
No.
Let's not get hasty. Till next time. Peace.